Welcome back to another video feature of the Immersive Girls Handbook. Just behind me is the Slow Food Pavilion at Expo 2015, so I want to take you around and give you a look at this interesting feature here at the Expo. Okay, so right now I'm taking a tour here in the Slow Food Pavilion. This was one of the stops I definitely wanted to check out at the World Expo. I'll show you some of the exhibits here. But you know, the whole slow food movement, of course, is significant because it's focused on this idea of greater sustainability and thinking more carefully and consciously about what we eat as opposed to eating fast food. And it's interesting, just down the way next to Turkmenistan is a big McDonald's restaurant. I think it's one of the maybe controversial inclusions here at the Expo. But get a sense here, let me show you some of the displays here. Take a look at. And I think this is some interesting about what maybe will happen after the Expo. And you can see the famous firm Herzog de Milan devised this whole pavilion. It's talking about the disassembly here of the parts. So this is, again, a big theme for the Expo this year. Showing you a little bit more. I have to say, from a design standpoint, these, greater than normal size versions of food and so forth, I think this is, not entirely sure of the idea behind this, but certainly when you enlarge a bottle like this, you think about it more carefully, right? It's more prominent. It gives you a greater sense of the impact of your own consumption on the planet. So perhaps that was an intention metaphorically in the design here. Okay, coming up here, you have an interactive sniff and guess. Sniff and guess. It smells like cinnamon. Lavender.
There were 288
types of beets. Whoa. Yeah, I heard this in a college class. It confirms that every year we lose 27,000 species of plants and animals.
Wow.
27,000. Okay, so this is, I think, really cool. Again, in keeping with the Expo trying to do pedagogical displays for the guest is, so here you have, this is representing the loss of biodiversity. So at the top, you have the sand that falls into the bottom one. And so I'm assuming that the top represents the different species and the loss of species on the planet. So very cool, again, in terms of the design here, how they're playing with metaphor and analogy in terms of trying to get us to think about it in a very non-preachy way and in a way that is focused, I would say, highly on metaphor. So as we take another look here inside the Slow Food Pavilion, it occurred to me that another thing that we see or a thing we see at the Expo that we likely probably don't see as much at the theme park is a focus on pedagogy or education. So one of the things that I think is key in the Expo with its theme is focusing on this idea of educating the guest about, in this case, problems with the decline in species across the planet. And so it's probably something that is more uniquely part of the Expo tradition in recent years as we think about important cultural and political themes, not necessarily picked up so much in the theme park tradition where the focus tends to be more on entertainment. So I would suggest in this sense, it's a bit more, the Expo is a bit more unique in terms of its tradition for the fact that it's trying to get the guest to do something different, to change their behavior, to focus on this ethos of not being a consumer and instead focusing on trying to be conservative and trying to focus on decreasing your carbon footprint and its impact on the environment. So as we close this video feature, I wanted to show you just a few more of my still images. This is actually the shot of the Slow Food Pavilion from the Biodiversity Mediterranean Hill above. You could see really this unique architecture. And then in the interior area, they have these lush gardens and you can actually sample some slow food. And I thought this was a very cool feature. They had this park here. People could sit down on benches, take their time, because of course one of the points about slow food is to be very conscious about what you're eating and to enjoy the social company, and in this case also enjoy some of the aspects of nature as well. And then just a few more shots of the interior of the pavilion, which I think you might agree is one of the more stunning ones. And we can close with this image here, and I think that's a message that many of us would agree is certainly a possibility. I hope you enjoyed this video feature today here at the Slow Food Pavilion at Expo 2015 Milan, and please come back for additional video features of the Immersive Worlds Handbook.